Hey everyone, this is Borvok. Going to do a quick review on Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 156. This is the finale of the 6-issue arc. Of the first arc of Donny Cates' run. So let's get right into it. I want to say first of all, this is a nice cover, but I don't really like it when they do this. I'm kind of weird about book covers. The title should be up here, so you know what you're looking at right away. You know where to look. You know what you're looking at. I know they're kind of squeezing it in to make more room for the art, but shift these guys down, make actually space up here for the title, and that would be my preference. I know I'm weird about stuff like that. Same with like novels. I don't like it when they do that. Title goes up here. But good art otherwise. Who did the cover? Donny Cates is the writer. Jeff Shaw is the artist. David Marquez and Dean White did the cover. Interesting. It looks very similar. I'm not an artist, but it looks very similar to me as the stuff inside. So I thought it might be. But this is Marvel, of course. The cover artist is not the same as the internal artist. Anyway, we pick up right where we left off. Star-Lord is leading in his band of misfits, his, I guess for now, temporary Guardians of the Galaxy. Some of them were all recently trying to kill Gamora because Thanos was supposedly going to resurrect in her body, but instead he's resurrecting in... Well, anyway, we'll get to that. So they're fighting their way in. Beta Ray Bill throws his mighty hammer, and got a nice big fight scene here. Like it a lot. I always thought that Star-Lord's guns, they look like those guns that the Covenant use in Halo. They're kind of cool, but... apparently Frank Castle betrayed them in the previous issue. I don't really remember that, but yeah, I'm sure it happened. But we actually just get back to some more of the fighting, and we actually find out that the reason that Frank Castle betrayed them was not by choice, but because Hela had some sway over him because he's like dead or something, I guess. And then they're going to set up a thing here where Frank Castle wakes up in hell, I guess. They did a clever little thing here where Peter Quill says, "What in the absolute?" and then switch to hell. So he doesn't actually say it. This is actually the Marvel version of hell. And he meets Johnny Blaze. Is he the original Ghost Rider? I don't know much about Ghost Rider, but Frank Castle's in his body again. I guess he's not a skeleton, and challenges him to a race. I guess I don't know. I guess find out more in Avengers number 22. Which no thanks. I don't read Avengers right now. But nice setup there. Gamora's fighting her way up, and she's kind of miffed that her dad was supposedly, that he's resurrecting using his brother's body, which is Eros, is what he's going to do. Peter says, no, you can't kill your brother just because he's resurrecting Thanos, or Thanos is resurrecting himself using his brother, which I guess makes it her uncle, kind of, except she's adopted. But she says, nah, I got to do it. So she kills Eros, and Eros is kind of like, well, I guess I kind of should have seen this coming. I kind of thought that he was going to resurrect in your body, but, I kind of should have known it was going to be me, I guess. And then he dies, at least for now, he's Eros, so I'm sure he'll get better. Thanos will get better too. But because Gamora kills Eros while he's transferring Thanos' consciousness back into Thanos while under the control of Thanos. Yep, sorry, comic books. The transfer is incomplete, just like if you unplug your flash drive while you're transferring a file, you get a corrupted partial file. And was it Hera or Hela? Let's go back to Frank Castle. Hela. Okay, it's Hela. Is Hera a thing too? I don't know. So Hela's all mad because I want to make some joke about that ridiculous outfit and helmet thing, but nothing comes to mind. I'm not that clever. But she's mad, so she's going to blow some people up. And this is kind of cool. Beta Ray Bill throws his hammer and deflects the black hole gun that she's firing. And it bounces off and deflects at Thanos, who's kind of, let's say, underdeveloped mentally because the transfer wasn't complete. So he's a few bits short of a bite. And it just blows him to nothing. And that's kind of cool. Beta Ray Bill, after doing that, just says, "I say thee nay." I'll take it. That's pretty awesome. So Thanos blows up. Everything else starts blowing up. Hela falls into a pit. Man, we're really wrapping things up here. And actually, wherever they were, looks like it explodes. But they're kind of just standing here watching the explosion, and whatever these two are, I don't care. Peter Quill goes to talk to Gamora, and she's like, "Hey, why did you save me? If Thanos was going to resurrect in someone else's body, I would have killed that person." And Peter's like, "Well, I didn't kill you because I love you, and after all the stuff you put me through, I don't know what that says about either of us." Well, that's fair enough. So here's where they're all sitting around a table. That's kind of cool. Groot, I didn't notice this when I was reading Groot's, apparently, punk rock Groot, is, this is kind of interesting. I hope they grow him out of this phase, though. I hope this isn't just who he is for this entire run of Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's apparently able to grow branches to, like, carry beer. I wonder if he's underage for drinking. I don't know. But they're all just hanging out at a bar. And speaking of Groot, his kind of off-model look with the punk rock thing, I kind of feel the same about Peter. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me some facial hair. I have some myself. But Peter Quill, I don't really think... Beard is not what I think when I think Peter Quill. So I would like to see him get a shave at some point. It's nice to see the characters, not always wearing the same outfit. Maybe they're not always shaving every morning. He's a little depressed. He's growing out a beard. But it is, I would like to see him kind of reset back a little bit at some point. Same with Groot. Maybe not right away, but Peter Quill gives a speech and says, "I'm glad to have you all as Guardians." And they're all like, it's in here somewhere. Maybe I'm at the wrong page. Oh, no, this is the right page. I'm just not reading it. So he's like, "I'm glad to have you all here as Guardians. We saved the day." And they're all like, "Well, actually, most of us can't stick around. We're not your Guardians anymore." But he's got a core group, and a few of them are going to stay with him and stick it out. And Donny Cates leaves us with the teaser of they got to recruit Rocket next, which... he hasn't shown up yet. They've hinted that something's going on with him. So tune in next issue, and I guess we'll find out what that is. So there you go. It closes out the issue. I'm kind of a little disappointed that Thanos isn't coming back, but the heroes certainly aren't disappointed. I'm sure of that. So I feel kind of bad for being disappointed, actually. But it's an okay issue. It's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not your classic. It's not a movie tie-in. I kind of hope they get a little more of the vibes from the movies in the comics. Maybe not. I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon a little while ago. It actually, how the movies have those, they have the soundtrack, the Awesome Mix. It was like a cassette tape called the Awesome Mix, Volume 1, Volume 2, etc., that Peter Quill actually has in the movies. And then those songs are integrated into the soundtrack. And then they actually released the soundtrack as cassette tapes called Awesome Mixes Volume 1 and 2. Like, Disney actually released those, and that's pretty awesome. Like, the cartoon did the same thing. They called it Cosmic Mix, and it has a bunch of that old music that shows up in the cartoons, which kind of plays off of the music that shows up, like actual top 40s hits from whatever that year was, or that time period. Like, oldies. I don't know. Are they oldies? I don't know. Anyway, that cartoon is very heavily based on the show, to the point where they don't actually do anything creative, and it's all very dumbed down. I don't want this book to do that, but I would like to see, a little bit, maybe try to capture a little bit more of what made the movie so popular, kind of do your own thing a little bit. This book is definitely very Kate's, so yeah, it's good. It's not a heavy recommend. It is the end of an arc, so maybe the following issue will be a better jumping on point, but not a bad issue. I will say, Diversity in Comics is very good, or I guess Zach is very good at like picking out when 3D models are being used and stuff like that. I can't really tell. I don't think these are 3D models that are being used in the art, but I will say, I don't know if this is kind of an attempt at realism, but there are not a whole lot of exaggerated heroic proportions here. All the women are not extremely skinny. And that's really where it sticks out to me the most, that the women all look very normal and natural as opposed to heroic. So I would like to see a little more exaggerated, not super unrealistic, but comic book heroic proportions. I would like to see a little bit more of that in the art, as opposed to what we're getting here. But better than anything I could draw, right? Very, very good. No complaints, just a little bit of a preference there. I guess that's all I have to say about the issue. I'll give it a recommend. What do we want to grade this? Well, let's bag and board it first. I should have had this ready for me, but preparing ahead of time is apparently my kryptonite. Except kryptonite actually exists, whereas me preparing ahead of time apparently doesn't. All right, come on, bag. I'm going to be so good at doing this one-handed. Docks me with my own glossy reflection there. And then we'll get this, and let me grab some stickers. And I think for this one, we're just going to give it, it's an okay issue. So we're going to give this one a yellow sticker, if I can peel it. Which is the third to highest honor a comic book can get. I'll have to break out some of the other colors. We've got all of these colors here, and we've only used green and yellow so far. We'll make it. I'm sure we'll do more later on. But there you go. That's the issue. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. If you liked what you saw here, go and pick it up for yourself. You can read it word by word, panel by panel, and page by page. Don't forget to support your local comic shop. If you don't know where your local comic shop is, look it up online and find one. If there is no local comic shop in your area, there are also shops online that will ship books to you weekly or monthly. And if you like reading digitally, there's always Comixology and Amazon. So support what you like. If you like what you saw here, maybe pick it up, see what the next issue is about. But that is up to you. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.